Good morning. Welcome, everybody. I respectfully acknowledge the past and present traditional custodians of this land on which we are meeting, the Yugambeh people. It's a privilege to be standing on Yugambeh country. I'd like to introduce local traditional owner Rory OConnor to welcome us to his country. Rory is a descendant of Jackie, King of Logan Pimpama, and also Jenny Graham, a prominent Aboriginal woman in the southeast region. As CEO of Yugambeh Museum in Beenleigh, Rory is the driving force behind many positive initiatives keeping Yugambeh Aboriginal heritage alive in the southeast region. As the tribe scribe, he's spent much time with the elders, past and present, and has produced numerous books, exhibitions and videos to help preserve their stories and memories. Rory is also the founder of the annual 3-day Aboriginal walking pilgrimage, the Drumley Walk, which follows in the footsteps of Aboriginal leader Billy Drumley. Please welcome Rory.
Bargabushra, Nyanyanari Rory OConnor, Jingari Yugambeh jargon. And that's just to say good morning, my name's Rory OConnor, and welcome to Yugambeh country. Thank you, Nell, for those kind words. Before I start, I guess I want you to know why we actually do a welcome to country, because I look at people coming from everywhere, and Nell said she's from Vic. Why do you have some random stranger turn up and give you a welcome? Well, in the old days, when you came to our traditional country, if you didn't get welcomed, you'd get speared, and we didn't want that happening. So what I thought was I'd explain that the whole process is also to orientate you. A lot of you have come from Darwin, you've come from other states, and we, as custodians of this land, want you to look at the landscape, the landforms, and feel the same welcome that I see when I look at it. So I was here a couple of years ago, and I spoke to attendees, and one of the things that was said to me was, we'd love to know more about this space that you gather in. So Surfers Paradise. Well, it's not Surfers Paradise. It's actually Jari Perilla is the name of it. And you mentioned Drumley, who was this old man. Well, he was old when he used to do it. He used to walk from 60 kilometres to the west to here to visit my mother, who's 90 years old. So she was growing up in the 1930s here in Aboriginal families. And he would walk to visit these little kids and look after them. But he'd talk about this place. He'd say, Jari Perilla. Jari Perilla is a dancing ground. This was a place where communities gathered from everywhere to celebrate. So I think it's quite fitting that you come here, because essentially you have a celebration of ideas at conferences like this, and you're in the right space spiritually for our community. I also wanted to just touch on, in our community, I've got a mate. He's got a frog on his shoulder, tattoo. And I said, why do you have that? He goes, that's my totem, given to me when I was a kid by my family. He's from the north. And he said, my role is to protect that frog. So when I go home, I do whatever I can to protect it. I kill a lot of toads. I make sure that people aren't eating, because people love eating frogs. If there's problems with the frog numbers, he goes to people and says, don't be eating those frogs this year. Because you see, spiritually, he's linked to that frog, and if it dies, his family dies. And it's more complicated than that. His mother's totem includes a whirly-whirly by a bend in the river. So if the river is not healthy and the copse of trees that makes the whirly-whirly happen isn't there, she's failed. And she's spiritually linked to it. And when I look at what you do and the passion of what you people are trying to do, it strikes me that, in essence, you're there to protect these creatures that need an advocate. So we have a totemic system that has an advocate for every part of our community. And that's what you people are doing. And normally at this stage I go, you know what, we're trying to revive our language, because language spoken by children helps them go to school, breaks the poverty education cycle, blah, 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 blah. And I get you to say jingari, which is our word for greeting. But not this morning. I want you to share with me this word, bujigan. Could I get you all to say bujigan, please? Bujigan. And again, bujigan. Bujigan is our word for pussycat. And I love it. Bujigan. It's just a beautiful word. So So I guess I wanted you to celebrate what you're doing here. You're in the right place, and your hearts are in the right place too, and that's what I'm excited to be here to impart to you. And finally, I am answerable to my community, and I have all these old ladies and men who say, boy, go do that thing over there, because that's what you do, and I get bossed around. But one story I know they would like shared with you is a story, and I want you to think of this when you look at the beautiful ocean out there. So, long time ago, before time, there was a man, and his name was Gawanda. And his job was to train the dingoes as little puppies. So he always had puppies around him. And dingoes were hunting dogs. So they would literally, like cattle dogs, they would be used to drive kangaroos, wallabies, whatever, into a net when the men went hunting. Because if you go out in the bush and you make a howl like a dingo in front of a kangaroo, it does two things. First of all, it takes off away from you, and then the first chance it gets, it goes uphill. So if you've got some good dogs, you send them down there, you figure out, we'll be waiting up here. Dingo howls, bang, kangaroos come up, blackfellas jump out, and there's dinner. Anyway, he was in charge of training these, and of course he had puppies around him, and what do kids love? Puppies. So he was famous and fabulous for the kids. They all loved him. And he was an important man. He grew old and his hair went white, a bit like mine's going. But he was older than me and he had more white hair. And unfortunately, one day he passed on. And the children were very, very sad. They'd lost this icon in their community. Sometime later, the children came running back into the camp. They said, he's back. And the parents went, what do you mean he's back? He's out there. He's back. Gawanda's back. And they looked out into the ocean and they saw dolphins. But in particular, they saw one dolphin with white fins. And that dolphin was training the other dolphins to drive the fish up to the shore. And I've got aunties in community who remember as children, they'd go down to the water and they'd tap the water and the dolphins would drive all the fish in, and then as little kids they'd go there and they'd just scoop the fish up and throw them up onto the bank. So that's a story of this space, and it's a story I share with you to make this space more relevant as you go about your business, as you celebrate your ideas, and to make you welcome to this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rory. I really appreciate you coming to do that this morning. So welcome to G2Z 2017. I'll hand you over to the wonderful Dr. Anne Fawcett in just a moment to get things started, but I wanted to share a few things with you first. If we haven't met before, my name's Nell Thompson. I'm coordinator of the G2Z program. So please come and say hi this week if we haven't met. Feel free to contact me anytime, phone, email, Skype, whatever. And if you need some more sugar to get through this week, come and see me as well. I have a stash. I'm happy to say we've grown again. Somehow we squeezed more speakers into the program, and you might notice this room is packed a bit tighter. So you all deserve congratulating for being here. It's not always easy, but I hope you think it's always worth it. I'm very grateful to our sponsors, exhibitors and supporters who've put up with me harassing them and chasing them down for months now. And now I hope that they can see what they've contributed to and can imagine some of the outcomes that will eventuate from this event. These 5 days every 2 years are about learning and connecting, inspiration and exposure to all that is progressive and effective. We know that in this field of endeavour, we need to be resourceful. We need to think about things differently. And we also need to be aware of the language that we use. Words and terms matter, particularly when we're dealing with those who aren't as familiar with our world. My aim is for my personal hashtag to be Don't Be a Barrier, and I hope that you'll consider making that yours as well. And finally, a big thank you to all of our speakers from near and far. I know that our US speakers are probably thinking of everything that's happening back home and probably wishing that they weren't here, but we really appreciate it, and all of our local speakers. There's no conference without those willing to share their knowledge and information. I'd like to introduce our MC for this year, Dr. Anne Fawcett. I have to be honest, I am in awe of Anne. her work capacity, her brain capacity. I don't know how she did it, but I'm very pleased that she could fit our event into her schedule this year. I'm also in awe of her humanity. She has deep compassion and empathy for people and animals, which is one of the reasons why she really gets what we're doing here and why. Anne is a blogger, a journalist and a lecturer at the vet school in Sydney, as well as a companion animal veterinarian with a special interest in unusual and exotic pets. To say that she has a strong interest in animal welfare and ethics seems to be trivialising things. It drives much of what Anne does. She's just co-written a textbook of veterinary ethics and is a diplomat of the European College of Animal Welfare and Behaviour Medicine in Animal Welfare Science, Ethics and Law. She also holds a membership for the Australian and New Zealand College of Veterinary Scientists in Animal Welfare. She's one smart cookie and she's doing great things. Please welcome Anne.
Wow. Thank you so much. Well, my first job is actually to introduce someone I'm a fan of, Dr. Joanne Righetti. She's going to open the conference on behalf of our platinum sponsors, Purina. Jo is the Purina and Animal Welfare League of Australia ambassador and educates professionals and the community about human-animal relationships. She has a background in zoology, a PhD in animal behaviour and a diploma in counselling, so she has the right qualifications to help people and their pets. Please welcome Dr. Jo Righetti.
Thanks, Anne. Thanks, Nell. It's great to be here. And on behalf of Nestle Purina Australia, I'd love to welcome everyone to the 7th National Getting to Zero Summit. I've been at a few now, and it is growing, as Nell has said, which is fabulous. So first of all, I'd love to thank Nell for all the hard work she's put in so far, and I'm sure it'll be even harder this week, but we really do appreciate it. I'd also like to welcome the winners of the Purina sponsored registrations. That's Bridget Bell and Ali Small. If they're here, give us a wave. Okay, good. Purina are delighted to be the major sponsors for this event. It's great. We're all here to learn. We're all here to relax with one another. You know, you're caring for animals within your roles, within your communities, and within your home. But it's good to get here and learn something from other people. And it's good to be able to relax with fellow animal lovers. Now, I know coming here, I'm thinking to myself, wow, big bed all to myself. I'm going to be able to turn over without the coordinated approach of me, a dog, and 4 cats. First night, I can't sleep. I can't sleep without them. What is that? I'm sure a lot of you are the same. We love it. Pets help us relax. The theme of this summit is getting them home, keeping them home. Now, we all know that we're doing a great job most of the time in rehoming animals, but we have to keep them there, and that can be hard. Pets escape. I know. I lost my cat Wildfire this year. I'd only just adopted him. I went overseas, and my son called to say he was missing. Wow, panic sets in, especially when you're overseas. But I was literally left no stone unturned, and I knew what to do. I knew how to go and look for him, and luckily for us, he walked back in. 5 days later, walked back in the house. He knew his home already. But I was almost ready to book that plane ticket back home. So I knew what to do. A lot of people don't know how to get the pets back if they go missing. A lot of people don't have the bond with a pet that keeps them searching for the pet when they do go missing. And sadly, pets do end up in shelters, and our job is then to look for that new loving home. So we'll always be on this journey, this getting to zero journey, and it's a long journey. It's a bit like taking the kids out in the car. Are we there yet? No, we're always on this journey. It takes time and it takes patience, but we are making progress. We should give ourselves a pat on the back for that. It is a positive movement. Getting to zero is working, and that's what matters for animals. We care for pets, but we also need to care for people, don't we? It's often the people that really need help. You know, pets don't make a lot of their own decisions. My cat didn't decide to go missing. Pets don't relinquish themselves to shelters. We need to help people make good decisions about their pets. We need to help people have bonding experiences with their pets. That's why I like working with Purina Australia, because they have set some procedures in place. Things like paternity leave. So if people are encouraging people, if you get an animal, take a few days of work, start that bonding process, settle your pet into home. They also have a movement to have pets at work. They help places develop policies, procedures for bringing a pet to work, and that actually makes people more productive, believe it or not. Where are our pets today. We need some, don't we? So we need to work out how we can help people. But none of us, we need to remember, is on this journey alone. We're here, look at all the people who are here today, all the different sectors, the not-for-profits, government, we've got corporate, commercial. Let's collaborate. I'd love to hear you all say to one another, introduce yourselves and say, how can we work together? What projects are you working on? Could I help? Could I at least promote what you're doing? Can you promote what I'm doing? Let's see if we can work together. And if our values align, it's often very, very easy to work with other people. In a few seconds, you're going to see a video from Nestle Purina. It starts with the company's origins in 1894. Maybe that's when I joined it. No, I've been there a while now. And it brings us up to date with current Purina people and the company values. In their words, as you'll hear, we should all stand tall. Be proud of what you've achieved so far. Be proud of what we're going to achieve this week and going forward. And smile tall. Enjoy your week at Getting to Zero. Enjoy working with your pets. Enjoy your own pets. So on behalf of Purina, thank you for your journey. Please join me in welcoming everyone here and declaring the 7th Getting to Zero Summit open. Thank you.
This I believe. Mr. William H. Danforth is primarily a businessman. He is the founder and chairman of the board of the Purina Company.
Much of what I know has come from others, so I make it a daily practice to meet people who know more than I do. I learn from them and add to my knowledge. I must also think tall, develop my being.
When you have a look at the values that we have, Danforth actually came up with them when he started Purina. They shape everything that we do, how we act, and who we are as a company. They challenge us on a daily basis to not only want to do things better, but be more creative, to further improve a cat or dog's life.
Having those talls, they were able to be translated through the years to new generations of employees. So people like myself, new employees coming into the business today, we know the talls. And they're really as important then, they're really important now.
It's the foundation of our organisation, and it's where we come from. It's something that we're very proud of.
This idea of delivering what we promise. So the idea of trusting what we put in the bag, the quality that we put in the bag, the nutrition that we put in the bag, and that idea of integrity ensures they believe that. Yes, we're employees of Purina, but we're also passionate pet owners.
Most important of all, I found that I must live tall. No great achievement stands the test of time unless it is based on honesty, truthfulness, integrity.
There is such an unspoken bond between people and pets. It's about how we enhance each other's lives. Not only do they teach us empathy and compassion, but they're just there to make our lives so much better. And a life without a pet would just, I couldn't imagine it.
I think that we complement each other. They're an extension of our family.
It's really about bringing to life products that enhance both a pet and a pet owner's life and bringing that to the heart of everything that we do.
We love doing what we do in Purina. So what we do here day in and day out is follow our passion. We don't just stop at good. We want the products to be great.
We have research and scientists located around the world that spend years researching and developing products. We want consumers to be able to trust that the quality of Purina products is the highest. So translating that culture that we have every day in our office to what we put in the bag every day is really important.
If you come back to the company vision, you know why you're here, you know what the company's about, what we stand for, who we are, and why things are so important for us that, everything that goes into that product has to be the absolute ultimate best, otherwise we just don't do it.
Stand tall, think tall, smile tall, live tall. This I believe.
Thanks very much, Joe, for that welcome. And it's nice to be in Jari Kurilla. Thank you, Rory, as well, for his fantastic welcome to country. And welcome, everyone. This is a beautiful room of fabulous people who are going to spend the next 3 days collaborating. But first, I need to go through the important, essential housekeeping details so everybody knows. Most importantly, the loos just out there and to the left. If there is an emergency, then we need to go out of these doors and preferably down the stairs and out to the front without trampling or stampeding each other. That's important. The other thing is, you might notice you've got the fabulous badge. In your lanyard is a USB. How funky is that? So I don't know, some of you might have discovered it. It's a little bit fiddly to get off. It's like one of those tricky seat belts, but once you do, that's in there. All of the proceedings are on that USB. So you can download them and then all there to keep. So don't throw out that lanyard, very, very important. Speakers for all of the sessions, in the session that you're speaking in, please come and sit at the speakers table so that you can be close to the stage. And instead of doing a roving mic at question time, what we've got is 3 microphones. So there's one here, and one here. So if you've got a question, rather than everyone waiting for the poor mic runners to awkwardly clamber over people, what we're going to do is try lining up instead. If you've got a burning question, please come stand at the microphone. You can burn a few calories on the way because it's good to be active at conferences. And then ask your questions. If you're a social media person, then please tweet to your heart's content. Use the hashtag G2Z2017. And please also, if you're a little shy or introverted, use our handshake board. Everyone's got the opportunity to have their photo taken at the rego desk with their details so that you can recognise the face and put the face to the name. It's all about meeting people and networking this week. So get onto the handshake board and be part of that. And also, please visit our wonderful sponsors, exhibitors, and supporters who've spent a lot of time helping make this conference possible and put a lot of money and resources behind it. And at this point, I really want to thank our sponsors as well, particularly the Animal Welfare League of Queensland, Nestle Purina Pet Care, Animals Australia, the Animal Welfare League of Australia, and the City of the Gold Coast.